So welcome to another
workshop Wednesday.
Another workshop Wednesday where we're kind of wrapping up our our topic of inventory. So we just to kind of recap, the first one was just the simple I buy stuff, I sell stuff inventory, and how you can handle that in QuickBooks. Last week was I buy stuff, I build stuff, I sell different stuff. Right. So how do you track those types of things in QuickBooks? And now today is the very complicated I buy stuff. I need to track where all my stuff is at any given time.
Location.
And then I sell that stuff. Right. So this is where we get into the word advanced, and QuickBooks loves to throw that word around,
everywhere.
You've got advanced certification. You've got QuickBooks Advanced, and then inside of QuickBooks you have advanced reporting, advanced pricing, advanced inventory. Did I miss any advancements?
They have not advanced the payroll or the payments,
right?
But they've advanced everything else. So people do get confused over that advanced inventory. They're like, I need inventory, but you might not need advanced inventory, which is only found in Platinum and Diamond.
Right. So your favorite topic and your favorite version,
QuickBooks
Enterprise.
My favorite version. Now, where it does get complex, and I like partnering up with smart people that do this, is what you can do inside of Platinum. There's a lot of features in there.
Mm-hmm. So do you manage all this tracking of stuff and inside of Enterprise, or do you take on clients when you have these gnarly?
we take clients on, and we have a partnership with support people that love this stuff. They love to get the most out of QuickBooks without having to go to, I don't know, what are all the other ones that are bigger and higher and more money, and get the most out of it for manufacturing, like we talked about last week, and then tracking my location, pick, pack, ship, all those things. Inside Platinum. Why are we hearing my voice?
Sorry.
Yikes.
Well, I need to monitor the comments in the Facebook,
okay.
But so I had to find it, and then of course it
started talking.
You started talking to yourself, so at least you didn't answer.
That's right, because I really don't have the answer. I like asking good questions.
Right. So, of course, because I was doing that, I wasn't really paying attention to what you were saying.
Let's talk about that again.
You partner with smart people to handle
yes, because unless you do this stuff all the time, it's tricky. Platinum has so many features that a lot of people don't realize, and now we have the Diamond because we've run out of metals and we switched to special gems. But the features in the word advanced inventory, and they also have advanced pricing, which we're not getting into that today. The features are huge, and not everyone knows how to do it. I mean, I know how to tell them what features are in there and connect them up with the right partner that can support it. But in the end, the customer, if they understand what QuickBooks can do enough to get the help, and they understand that they have to pay for that consulting because not everyone knows how to do it. It's a special kind of pro advisor. If they're willing to do those things, they ultimately save money instead of going into a platform that costs, tens of thousands of dollars more. They could take that same budget for just the software and get it all in QuickBooks.
Right. Yeah. And, QuickBooks, in your opinion, and I think, in general, the consensus is that QuickBooks Enterprise really fits a gap with mid-market, more complex companies that need that thing, those things, but don't really have the budget for, the NetSuites of the world and the Acumaticas and the really gnarly
Well,
robust programs that do handle that side of kind of
and
stuff.
there's such a gap, kind of like there's a big gap between paying for QBO and enterprise and price point. What a lot of times people make the mistake, pro advisors and the end user, they don't ever budget in the consulting dollars. That's really important to get the juices out of it. Or you go and spend much more money for another software, you still always have to have the consulting budget. And I think that we do a disservice if we try to, do backflips and try to do it for them for free, just to get that order. I mean, there's a lot to it that they will benefit and grow and track the reporting and stuff if they get it set up right in the beginning.
Yeah,
nothing worse than those messy ones.
And the thing that I keep replaying to myself a lot of times is that, when somebody's really kind of looking at the different options that are out there and shopping for a software solution that handles their needs, they often get wrapped around, focused on something that it doesn't do, or that they feel is important. And you really don't want to have the great be the enemy of the good, right? So, if QuickBooks handles 80%, of what it is that you're looking to do, and if that 20% can be handled with another app or
old school
or outside of QuickBooks or some other workflow process, is it worth that, that expenditure to go up to, a larger software with a huge budget concern of, hey, does this even work? So let's kind of dive in and just really give an overview of the advanced inventory functionality in Enterprise. You should be seeing it. Did it show up?
We see your homepage.
Okay, all right. So this is Enterprise, and we are going to go into items and inventory and talk about advanced inventory settings. So again, I'm sorry for the tiny font, but yeah, these tabs are the general areas. So if you come across a client that has any of these needs,
doesn't have to be all.
Yeah, they can't pick and choose like which one. I mean, you can pick and choose which ones to turn on, obviously, but if you're doing a consultation with a client and they need any of these things, that they would need at least the Platinum edition of Enterprise, because that's what includes the advanced inventory option. So first thing is multiple inventory locations. So this is where you would have your inventory being in
one warehouse or a truck or two warehouses, three warehouses location.
Yeah. So if you've got different locations of where your inventory is physically located, whether that be, like you said, a mobile inventory situation where it's on the truck, or in a different, retail establishment versus the warehouse, the storage facility, whatever, and they need to know that, then multiple inventory locations is here, and then you have those choices to set that up. Serial and lot numbers. Yeah, this isn't either or. It's not an and, right? So serial number would be really handy for electronics or anything that does have a specific number assigned to each individual product, right? So the purpose of having a serial number is warranty issues, right? So if something needs to come back, then by turning on the serial number tracking, you'll be able to know who you bought it from and who you sold it to. So that if they say, well, this is defective, well, then you gotta you have your return process for yourself between you and your customer, and then you also have a return process for you and your vendor. But the serial number tracking is going to let you know who you sold it to and who you bought it from. So the same thing with lot, but now we're just dealing with different inventory, right? So pharmaceuticals or
Liquid, right?
liquids,
Food,
foods. You know,
packaged
we
stuff,
hear, we hear all sorts of stories about,
recall.
this is recalled. So lot number is going to help you know, again, who you sold it to, so you can warn them, don't eat the spinach, or this spinach if it's got this lot number in it and we sold it to you. Or, um,
You know
again,
what?
if you bought,
Another thing that lot and bin can help too is locating stuff within the warehouse.
that's
So
true.
if you have shelving and bins and so forth, I've seen that be used for that, but
Mhm.
you have to, yeah.
Right. FIFO, this is a cost calculation method. So stands for first in, first out. So that means that as you buy things, then the price changes. That's what QuickBooks is going to utilize to when it's sold. It's going to use the cost calculation based on the first in and the first out. And then this is the only version of QuickBooks that will allow you to do that. So if they need that cost calculation functionality, they will need the Enterprise Platinum. Barcodes. So this is a unique thing. So barcodes are not UPC codes. UPC codes are barcodes, right? So sometimes people use those terms interchangeably. Like, I want to create my own UPC codes. Well, no, you cannot create your own UPC codes. You have to send your product out and get it registered so that it gets assigned a UPC code, which is a barcode, right? But not you can't create a UPC code. So once you have if you have products that have a UPC code already created, then you can use that to brand the items inside of QuickBooks. So all you're doing here is enabling the option of barcodes, and then if you have a barcode scanner that can read the barcodes, you can test it out here in the wizard. You can create your own barcode, so like you can print item labels out of Enterprise, and those barcodes, whatever you tell QuickBooks, this is the number that's unique. So the item name number will be unique because QuickBooks doesn't allow you to have duplicate item name numbers on the item list. That will turn that item name number into a barcode, and then you can scan it. So that will help for finding items on transactions.
But what does it not do? Because a lot of people think it makes a lot of things automatic. It just sort of saves the step if you're already in an input screen.
Yeah. So, a barcode in and of itself is designed to make finding that item a lot easier, right? So, if you have a barcode, you just scan it, and what that's doing is just typing that, whatever that means, whatever that barcode means, it's typing it in for you, so it finds the item that much quicker. And that comes in handy with the next option, which is the site operations. So this is where you can enable the sales order fulfillment worksheet and the purchase order fulfillment worksheet, which are still there whether you enable them or not.
Just for the warehouse.
It makes it a little confusing because you do have a menu option called Sales Enable Fulfillment Worksheet without checking this box. But what this does is it expands the capabilities of the sales enablement sales order fulfillment worksheet, so that you can actually utilize a warehouse app on a mobile device. So you can have pickers, which you're going to assign here, and add devices. You're going to have people in the warehouse, and they don't even have to be connected to the QuickBooks at all, because all they're using is their app, because you've registered it here inside the advanced inventory settings. That will then communicate as long as there is an open internet connection between the device and the warehouse, wherever that happens to be, and your enterprise. It will just synchronize that stuff back and forth. But
Got it.
that will
Only Android.
yeah, only Android. And then there is a Bluetooth barcode scanner that you can pair with the Android device. So now you've got basically a handheld scanner that you can utilize to, the warehouse guys can use to receive inventory or pick and pack and ship, sales orders and turn them into invoices, or at least tell QuickBooks that, hey, it's been shipped. Go ahead and
Ready.
invoice for it. So, and then your favorite, landed cost.
Super cool.
So
It's really a cool feature that they added this year or
what
last
it,
year.
what is landed cost, Carrie? Since you were involved with creating this, right, or
Well, kind
providing
of. I
feedback.
gave some feedback.
Please.
So we've had customers that will say, how come my inventory item doesn't have all my expenses in it? And I was like, what? And they go, all the freight, all the fees that are that need to be added to it. And they kept asking me for a way to do that. So this isn't when you're buying, one product and selling it just like it is and free shipping. This is when you want to incorporate those extra expenses into the item. And so it gives you like an account to dump them in, and then you select which ones get applied to that particular inventory item in it, and it updates the cost of that inventory in a fancy way that you don't have to do a workaround.
Right. So it's the ability to spread those fees across the individual
All the
cost,
inventory items, yeah.
individual cost of the item, so that you have a little bit more accurate picture of the cost per item. Because that, as we talked about originally, when some they understand that's the word mistakenly. There we go. That's the word. When they mistakenly recognize the expense of their purchases all in one fell swoop, this
You don't
gives a
get
look.
data. Yeah.
This is a much more accurate depiction of the individual cost of that item, so that when you sell it, the gross profit is inclusive of those fees.
Yeah.
And one last thing I want to talk about is cycle counts, because that's not actually in the advanced inventory section, but it is only it is a platinum edition, or I can't remember if it's
I don't know
if it is or isn't, but but this is something. I think it's only platinum edition, because of course,
and it's something that if you're in platinum, this is what you'd want. Of course, you have to log in.
So this allows you to do off cycle counting, or basically doing your physical inventory without shutting down your operations, right? Like, so you can specify, so you can specify a section. It's like, okay, Bob is going to be counting, this row of inventory today. If you've got it organized that way, you can set that, find those items, create a cycle count. You can, you have two options. You can send it to Excel, or you can send it to the warehouse app. And then Bob can then just go through and count each of those individual items.
You need platinum for that.
Yeah, then you would need platinum for that.
Well, and a good example is like I used to work in retail years ago, and I was in charge of the shoe department. That's when I really understand inventory. Plus, I love shoes. And if you had it organized that all your shoes are in one area you could find in the item list, then that's a real good. I used to spot check within that. Like, let's check all the Sperry shoes. I had a way that I could do that, and then spot check within the department. This would have been super helpful.
Right. So this allows you to, you can send it to Excel, and then somebody can, put in the actual physical count of counting it, and then you can import it back in, and then it will import it on that day, and or use the warehouse app to be able to do that. So that's kind of the high level of the advanced inventory functionality of, I buy stuff and I need to track all of my stuff. There's reports. I didn't turn on any of the advanced inventory functionality, but the inventory reports will get added. So when you turn on the advanced inventory by site, you'll have an inventory valuation by site. So you'll be able to see where things are at any given time by that site, which will it'll add an additional column on every transaction. So you got to assign, where the inventory is. So it's only as valuable as you use it, right? So you got to track all that stuff. Let's see. There was something else that I wanted to.
I just saw something that there's a new report that I just saw, that inventory negative listing too, just to point that out. That's new. Because if you inactivate an item code that has quantity on it, it wreaks havoc in your books. Gotcha. So they've created a report to help us track those down. Customers usually do that, but road advisors that don't know how to do inventory do too.
Oh, and this is a nice feature as well. The report, that's what I was going to
add.
Oh,
yeah.
The aging detail and summary of your items. So you can see how long
that's really good.
Your inventory is still is sitting in your shelf. So this is not turn, but this is just how old your inventory is, right? So so if you've got stuff that's like in this case, this one's over 120 days.
That's $10,000 worth of inventory. Time to sell it.
Yeah, maybe just have this is where liquidation sales come from. It's like, oh gosh, I've got this stuff just I'm burning.
What if it's food?
Right, maybe it's spoilage.
Yeah,
gotta set it.
Nice steaks there. Have to throw those out.
They're not supposed to be brown until you cook them.
Oh.
But this is a built-in report when you have when you're using Platinum Edition with advanced inventory. So clearly not something you're going to get out of QuickBooks Online.
No.
Right, and that's why you call it light inventory.
Light, that's right. That's light.
It's like when you do yoga with 2-pound weights. It's light.
Light.
Light exercise.
I like it with no weight, so that's even lighter.
All right, so that kind of puts a wrap on inventory in QuickBooks. We hope you felt this was useful, and we're gonna take this and then consolidate it into one course inside of schoolofbookkeeping.com, so that you can review these individual topics. We'll go a little deeper dive into each of these functionalities in that course, but we wanted to give a high-level overview of the three major areas of inventory. I buy stuff, I sell stuff, do nothing to it. I'm a distributor. I buy stuff, I build stuff, I sell stuff, and then I buy stuff. I need to know exactly where it is at all times, and I've got other people touching my stuff.
Stay away from my stuff.
Exactly. So we will
see back where you found it. Put it back where you found it.
Right. So we'll see you next time on next week on Workshop Wednesday, and you guys have a great day.
Have a great week. Bye.